probably the most exciting piece to this is that collaboration. I do not believe in competition. I think we're all pioneers in this industry and in this state of time where we really can look for better outcomes. People are craving better outcomes. People are very sick. They don't have the quality of life that we should all have, whether it be from a longevity perspective or, a disease state perspective.
Behind the practice.
Welcome back to Behind the Practice. I'm Sean Quintero, your host, and we have Dr. Suzie with us today. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
For having me here.
Thank you for being with us. So you have a history and kind of a really extensive and incredible background. Tell us a little bit about it.
You got it. Yeah. So my background is as a pharmacist in the hospital settings. After school at UCSF, I did a residency at Rady Children's Hospital, and children and pediatrics are my passion. But I realized probably after the first year, we have some work to do with medication safety and medication error prevention. And so it took me down a trajectory in my career that bridged the gap of creating good systems and solutions to fill in the holes to make sure we protect, our pediatric population, which is extremely vulnerable. And so my background has been mostly in clinical informatics. I was a compliance officer and a med safety officer for several years. So bringing that kind of technology information to make sure we take care of our patients with the greatest outcomes has been my passion for the past 20 plus years.
That's amazing. I love it. Yeah, no, that's great. You mentioned the first year being so pivotal. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, when you think about going into medicine and it's, to me, I have this rosy colored glasses and you realize real quickly that there's so many things along the pathway that have to be perfect for that patient to get the right dose, the right drug, the right med, have it be customized to their body. And the reality is there's a lot of opportunities along the way for improvements. And I think seeing those medication errors so transparently made me realize that there's more for us to do. I think standard of care, it sounds glorious and glamorous, but there's a lot of opportunity that I think all of us have a responsibility to optimize. And whether that be the systems and the processes or the training or the education, and especially now the access to specific medications and therapies, I think has been eye-opening. So from a pivotal perspective, I knew that I had to do more. And so...
And you've been doing it for 20 years. Tell me a little bit about some of the major shifts and impacts you've had along the way.
Yeah, sure. Well, about 5 years ago, I got this opportunity of a lifetime to be a VP of operations for naturopathic clinics.
Congrats.
Thank you. And as a pharmacist, I had no idea what I was doing in the naturopathic world. I didn't learn anything about those therapies. But I say it's an opportunity of a lifetime because I started an exosome program, and after doing a lot of research and realizing the safety profile is amazing, I saw outcomes that I couldn't unsee.
Wow.
And the cool thing about naturopathic clinics is they don't follow, insurance-based protocols or formularies. They customize and they personalize. What does that patient need? And we will take care of that patient, and it doesn't have to be FDA approved. And that was astonishing to me.
It must have been freeing.
Yeah. A great word. Yes, it was freeing. And then the outcomes were phenomenal. So much so that I was seeing, neurological improvements in people along with COVID, pain, obviously, aesthetics for sure. But what really transformed was, I always think everybody has to find their why. And my why was, I came home one day after a long day at work, seeing these incredible outcomes, and I saw my husband on the floor, and he's been a Marine, and so
thank him for his service.
Thank you. But he had back pain since I've met him 25 years ago, and so being in the ED probably once a month, has always had major back pain, and it comes in flare-ups, of course, but it wasn't for lack of access to traditional medicine. I used to own a surgery center, so he had the gamut of offerings, but nothing touched it. Nothing helped. And that was when I said, it's time to just try it. It's worth a try to try exosomes. And so we did. I brought him to the clinic. We gave him 2 vials, and like, our lives are different.
Wow.
3 weeks later, he was doing backflips in our pool with the 4 daughters.
Whoa.
It was transformative. And I have one story after the next with friends and family that have been just affected so beautifully by the opportunity to have exosomes. But about a year ago, one of the people who I saved their life from long haul COVID, he was our best man in our wedding, and he showed up at my door unannounced, and he said, "I'm not leaving until you promise me you're going to start a company that gives access to the world, because just because I knew you, I got my life saved."
Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Goosebumps. That's
really
wild.
Beautiful. He ends up now as my CFO.
Oh, hey, look at that. Full circle.
Right? But yes, so giving access to regenerative therapy has been a beautiful passion of mine. But, my mind is a compliance officer, so coming into this regenerative space is a little bit eye-opening because there's not as many rules. There's not a lot of regulatory parameters, guardrails, I should say.
Yeah.
And so I knew real quickly that access is one thing, but creating a safe platform is more important to me, to be able to save this industry and to be able to say that we are at an inflection point in medical history if we do this right.
Yeah.
We have to think of safety first. And that's, at the end of the day, my company focuses on safety first. Well, how do you get there? You need data.
Yeah.
And so I partnered with an MD who's a CEO of Equitar Technologies. Early on, when I started the company, I knew I needed the data. And so Equitar Technologies typically works for pharmaceutical companies. They're very much in the regulatory space and SpaceX. And so I said, can you develop with me what that might look like for a software that could be a clinical tool for the regenerative space? And so it can offer, 1, transparency, 2, that can help be an educator for the providers. We don't learn this in medical school or pharmacy school. And for the first time ever, we have a platform that is all-encompassing. So we do patient education, physician education. We do, is this patient a true candidate? Why or why not? And then if they are, the data will show what protocols. And do you couple it with exosomes? Do you couple it with stem cells? Do you couple it with ozone, hyperbarics? Sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Every single one of us are trying to do better. And how we fit into this circle is going to be depicted with data.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the most exciting piece to this is that collaboration. I do not believe in competition. I think we're all pioneers in this industry and in this state of time where we really can look for better outcomes. People are craving better outcomes. People are very sick. They don't have the quality of life that we should all have, whether it be from a longevity perspective or, a disease state perspective. But I think this software will be the first of its kind to have collaborative data aggregation. So the doctors not only see their ideal optimization for utilization of regenerative medicine and allopathic medicine, of course, but they get to see across the globe of what other providers peer-to-peer are doing that they may want to adopt for optimal outcomes. And I love just the collaboration piece is beautiful, and it protects each other. And so within this platform, the providers are what we call part of an umbrella of an IRB protocol. So they have some level of guidance on how to incorporate this safely. And at the end of the day, it's not just safe for the patients, which is the most important, but safe for their license, and so that you decrease the barriers to say, yes, I need to give my patients optimal outcomes. They deserve it. And there will be a line out the door.
Oh, I bet.
People begging because people talk. And so, in a nutshell,
that's amazing.
what we do.
It sounds like you're not only empowering the clinician to be able to support the patient, but you're also empowering the patient to make sure that they're getting access to what's actually going to work. Because I think patients know something's missing, and doctors know something's missing. But how do I bridge that gap? And it sounds like the software is doing exactly that.
What a great point. You're absolutely. Patients are craving it. Where are they going to go? ChatGPT? Google? And they do. But now, for the first time, they get complete transparency, and not just with individual providers, but products, optimal outcomes, and they get to choice. And I'd say that's the most beautiful thing, is giving people a choice. Giving people at least accessibility so that they can say, this is bad enough, I'm willing to do this, but under these circumstances in terms of the safety. And you bring up another beautiful thought in that I hear code blues going off at Phoenix Children's, and pediatrics is my passion.
Yeah.
Sometimes our standard of care is not enough, right? Not just in pediatrics, not just at Phoenix Children's, in the world.
Yeah.
Our standard of care doesn't provide the percentage of survival that we optimally want. And so if our parent on the other side, just give me an option, give me access, instead of hospice, say, we could have this regenerative therapy, say this clinical trial potentially, and weigh into it. Just give people the opportunity. And I would say that's my biggest passion, is to collaborate with research departments, collaborate with academia. So start teaching in the medical institutes, start creating departments in regenerative. And I think that's going to move the needle in terms of honesty, transparency. And we only know what we know, right? And we as providers, as doctors, we learn something in school, we take that through the trajectory of our career, but it's not enough. When things change, when the industry changes, when new innovations come out, whether it be technology or biologics or care, it's our responsibility to learn it. And I think this software will decrease the barrier for them to learn it, so they don't have to get a PhD as a regenerative doctor. This information is pushed towards them. And we do have an academy. It's a CME platform, CME accredited platform for them to pick and choose which specific competencies or certifications that they would want to be able to incorporate into their practice.
That's amazing. That's amazing. What I have found, especially post-COVID and post-2020, is there's a deep desire for process transparency. And that's what you're providing, is this process transparency and optionality. And now doctors who are trying to regain trust, and the medical field that's trying to regain that trust, has this tool that is allowing them to say, hey, here's standard of care, and here's also what is also available to you.
You bring up a really good term, the word trust. All over my website, all over my entire branding is trusted outcomes. And yes, you get outcomes, but they're trusted based on all these other parameters that someone else has done the work to provide that transparency for both patients and providers and the industry as a whole.
That's amazing.
Together.
I love that. If a doctor's listening and they want access to the software, they want to get access to you and the work that you're doing, what do they do?
Great. The best, easiest way is matrixbiologics.com. There on our portal, they can read about what the company does, and then request a consult. And I'd be happy as a CEO to jump on that consult and be able to speak to them about how to incorporate them into our wheelhouse.
That's amazing. Well, you're doing incredible work. Dr. Suzie, keep going. This is such a needed, you're solving such a big problem between patients and doctors and allopathic care, integrative care, just everything. So keep on going. Thank you for being a guest on the show.
Oh, I appreciate being here. It's an honor.
Awesome. Thank you so much for watching Behind the Practice. I'm Sean Quintero, your host, and we'll see you in the next episode. Behind the Practice is produced by Next Step Social and Podcasting and hosted by Katie Brinkley and Sean Quintero. A special thank you to our guests today. This episode was recorded live at the Boston BioLife Functional Longevity Summit. A special thank you to the team that helped make this podcast happen.